Imagine being a game developer for one of the most highly anticipated fails of the year, I should say, and now telling streamers they should pay for their video games to have the right to stream them. Hello, everybody. My name is Alpha Russ, and welcome to Alpha on the Point, um, where where I, Alpha Russ, talk about a certain topic for about 10-15 minutes. And Jesus Christ. I don't know what to say about this. This has been a developing story the last couple days. And and for those of you who know what's going on, obviously, you guys would be able to follow along here. But it seems like a creative director for Google Stadia, or former, we'll get to that in just a moment of saying that, has been commenting on the DCFAs, or DMCAs, my bad, um, uh, of videos from clips and past broadcast VODs of Twitch streams that have copyrighted material. Now, I'm one of those type of people who, when the first wave of DMCA warnings were called back a couple months ago, I began using a streaming service called Epidemic Sounds, which you guys can actually hear the two songs that I'm using for the channel, and also for a lot of the live streams that I do now is a paid rights fee. Basically, for like a $15 a month, I get to be able to stream with this music and have no issue with it. So what in the world is going on here? Well, a 9 to 5 Google article published by Kyle Bradshaw says here, gamers condemn a Google Stadia Montreal creative director for saying streamers should be paying publishers. Following 3 days of good stuff announcements, now Stadia has begun trending on Twitter following a tweet from Google Stadia Games and Entertainment creative director suggesting that streamers should pay paying game studios a percentage for their revenue. Now, this is coming from also a recent Q&A, which we'll be covering eventually when I have the time. I just wanted to do this video because I felt like I needed to get some stuff off my chest about this. But it seems as if this games and entertainment creative director is one of those types of people that loves giving hot takes out of the wazoo, and sometimes that bites you in the butt. Why am I saying this? On Twitter this afternoon, which would be October 22nd, which was, if I'm correct, this was 2 days ago. This was on Thursday. Alex Hutchinson tweet about the current state of gaming, and obviously he chose a wrong time to rip the band-aid off the skins of Twitch streamers. A good example is a tweet by Admiral Baru, who is heartbroken by this. Another one, Milton T. Pike, he posted that it's going to take a long time to heal from that, and to tell people to download the mini clips that are are said to be of DMCA claims. Now, I'm lucky enough to not have those yet, but I will be obviously looking a little bit closer into it as the days go on by. But it seems like Alex Hutchinson doesn't have any type of sense about what type of pain in the ass experience that us streamers are currently going through, us streamers and content creators that do streaming on the side and now have to basically erase 10 long years plus of their content that has made them the person that they be. See, now and that's sad. That's very, very sad. But anyway, this all started with a tweet that says, by Alex Hutchinson, which we also got this from his Twitter, which is at Bang Bang Click. Streamers should worry about getting their content pulled because they're using music they didn't pay for, and should be worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. I strongly would like to disagree on that notion, Mr. Hutchinson, simply because we do pay for it. We do pay for the game. There's a reason why games are at a high cost for consoles and also for most of the AAA video game pricing is at $60. It's so that way they can make up a margin for how much the game is for all the game's hardware, the technical difficulties that they'll have over the game's lifespan, or help obviously fund salaries for the people who worked on the game. I could go on and on and on. Many publisher studios have done this. I think Neversoft has done this. NetherRealm recently started doing this with the recent release, or not too long ago, release of Mortal Kombat XL, so on and so forth. So he goes on after getting almost 800k likes and 5.4k retweets. We will get to some great examples of people, I guess you could say, either mock or make fun of him. And I do agree with Jamie Pine here. Kind of cringe take here. He goes on later to say that the real truth is streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business or paying for the content they use. Once again, hard disagree, because, and this is something that I've had in the back of my head all day when I decided today I was going to talk about this certain topic. We as streamers and content creators, when we do, and especially the Let's Players, when we buy a game, is to a degree is our property, but it's the right to play the game. Now, I think in fairness, to promote a game, and a great example of that is if we did that, then games like Fall Guys, games like Among Us, wouldn't be as popular as they say they are. Um, Instead of at least 400K saying Red was sus, he went down the vent, um, we would be saying, oh, we're gonna watch another Assassin's Creed live stream that was paid for. Cool, whatever. You know, it it doesn't make sense in his rebuttal. That isn't a real truth when in some cases, based on game performance, in some gaming publishers contracts, they have a thing that says, um that whatever the game's performance is, they get a certain percentages of sales and revenue. Um, that which is why it's a bad thing. Anyway, almost immediately the tweet was picked up by the broader gaming and streaming communities. By and large, the responses were not positive. Over the course of a few hours, Hutchison's handful of tweets altogether received nearly 10,000, 10K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 10K. Some of the streaming community, like Dr. Disrespect and Gothline, were quick to point out Hutchison's position as creative director for Stadia. As you see here, Dr. Disrespect saying creative director for Google Stadia. And then Gothline here says a lot of people quote tweeting this hot take about how streamers should need a license from publishers to stream their games. I think we should be more concerned that anyone who works at Google Stadia is giving business advice, and I agree. To make a long story short of what he's referencing, another, I think it was either him or another creative director, was answering I think it was a Reddit, that said that basically if Google Stadia goes under, or gets bought out, you don't own the games that you bought on Google Stadia, which I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think other than y'all fools for even making a heresy of that type of saying. But that'll be in another video. Let's see here. Streamers don't play games versus streamers play game, and they're showing numbers here. A lot of gain in a lot of layers here, of course. And even game journalists, Jason Schreier, who is, I think, if I'm correct, is for represents Bloomberg News. Thank you, Twitter. You always rock. I don't know, maybe you're getting flack because you're picking this particular battle in a world where C-suite executives make $30 million a year and devs don't get royalties, so they don't see any of that streaming money in the first place. That is a true statement, I think. In my opinion, royalties should be paid through those executives to the devs, because then that gives them more resources to make better games. One of my favorite examples of that is BioShock. When BioShock 2 came out, it was a really good game, and eventually it was used to make um to make BioShock Infinite, which is I think, in my opinion, one of the most better rated games of all time. One of my favorite games of all time, simply because of the story and the narrative, and the fact that it does, at one point in the game, if you haven't played it yet, highly recommend it, actually does tie itself into the original BioShock framework. Hopefully, BioShock 4 comes out and it has a connection to Columbia and obviously down back in the waters, not in West Virginia, obviously. In the same vein, Hutchison's Twitter bio update later to the afternoon to include all my opinions are my own. YouTube's lead over gaming, commerce, and immersive, Ryan Watt, shared his own thoughts on the more symbolic relationship that publishers and streamers can and should form. We believe publishers and creators have a wonderful symbolic relationship that has allowed a thriving ecosystem to be created. One that has mutually benefited everyone. YouTube is created on value for creators, publishers, and users. All ships rise together when we work together. And for Google's part, a spokesperson did make a mention saying the following. This is from the company from Hutchison Comments. The recent tweets by Alex Hutchison, creative director of Montreal studio of Stadia Games and Entertainment, do not reflect those of Stadia, YouTube, or Google. So I think we could fairly say in conclusion here, as we're gonna take a look at this guy's thing right now. It said, if I can what is it? Here it is. It's his former top line, where it did say at one point, at creative director at Google Stadia, previously Journey to the Savage Planet, Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed 3, Spores, Sims 2, etc. Here, and this is it says the same thing, except for all my opinions are my own. And I would, for the lulz, I'd like to point out that Jacksepticeye even tweeted this out. I find this thing extremely ironic, considering you have fan art of me, a streamer, as your banner when I play Savage Planet. You even cropped out their watermark in the banner, and you haven't given them credit for it anywhere. Very hypocritical. Oh snap. Oh snap. And in terms of my thoughts, obviously, on Alex Hutchinson, I honestly do not think he needs to be a part of the said gaming community anymore, or at least that makes a anything that happens for certain companies. Obviously I won't be playing Journey to the Savage Planet, and I won't be getting Google Stadia, because fuck you, Stadia. You know, you're hiring someone, you hired someone that basically is telling me I have to pay for to show off the video game, when this didn't all exist in the early 2000s. You know what they had to rely on? They had to actually rely on gameplay. That was shown on the commercials. We didn't know if it sucked or not. I probably in the long time of history, before live streaming was a real thing, for even Tiny Joe or even the biggest streamer, PewDiePie, let's see here, Ninja, Dr. Disrespect. Before any of those happened, those people had to rely on showing off gameplay in the actual video game ad to make people buy it. But anyway, I hope you like this video. If you haven't yet, press like and hit the bell on the notifications so when you guys get to see brand new episodes of Alpha on Air. We're going to be working on getting more interviews very, very soon, and also more podcast material in which we'll probably talk about this more in depth and more in detail. But I am the Alpha Russ, saying have a good day.